In the last 20 years, I've watched families with millions lose everything to lawsuits and infighting, while others built systems so airtight their heirs didn't even need a lawyer. In that time, I've helped thousands of millionaires plan their estates, and I've seen just about everything that can go right and everything that can go wrong. But one thing has always stood out to me. The richest families, the ones who've kept their wealth and relationships intact for generations, almost never fight over money. While everyone else is tearing each other apart in court, they're calm, coordinated, and unified. So today, I'm going to break down why rich families don't fight over money and how you can build that same peace and protection into your own family starting now. Here's the truth. Money doesn't cause fights. Confusion does. Most families don't have a plan. They have assumptions. They assume everyone knows what mom wanted. They assume the kids will work it out. They assume the estate will just go smoothly. And that's why you see even close siblings, people who got along their entire lives, suddenly turn against each other after a parent dies. It's not greed, it's uncertainty. When rich families plan, they eliminate uncertainty before it ever begins. They leave nothing to interpretation. They use living trusts, not just wills. They document everything, distributions, responsibilities, even reasons behind decisions. And most importantly, they communicate early. I once worked with a family who owned several successful businesses. Before the parents ever passed, they sat down with every child and said, this is the plan, this is who runs what, this is how distributions work. No surprises, no guessing, no resentment. That conversation probably saved their family decades of conflict. Wealthy families don't just hand over assets. They build systems to manage them. They treat wealth like a company with governance, leadership, and checks and balances. They use trusts, LLCs, and family partnerships, not just for taxes, but for clarity and control. Let's break it down. The trust is the foundation. It decides who gets what, when, and how. It removes the court from the process and keeps everything private. The LLC or family partnership acts like the family operating system. It defines decision-making, ownership, shares, and voting rights, so no one has to argue about it. And governance documents, like family constitutions or business succession plans, keep emotions out of financial decisions. Think of an estate plan like an architect's blueprint. Before a single brick is laid, the entire structure, every wall, beam, and doorway is already mapped out. Wealthy families do the same thing with their legacy. They don't wait for chaos to hit and then react. They build instability from the start. That blueprint, the trust, the LLCs, the governance rules, becomes the frame that holds the family together long after the original builders are gone. Here's an example. One family I worked with had 3 adult kids, each in different careers. Instead of dividing everything equally, their parents structured a trust that provided equal opportunity, not equal amounts. Each child could access capital, but only for investment or educational purposes. They avoided jealousy because expectations were clear, rules were fair, and values were written down. Structure doesn't limit freedom, it creates stability, and stability prevents conflict. There's a saying among family offices: the first generation makes it, the second grows it, the third blows it. But that's not destiny, that's lack of values. Families that stay wealthy and peaceful teach why the money exists before they ever talk about how much there is. They tell stories, they share lessons, they make wealth mean something bigger than a balance sheet. When I meet families who've stayed united for generations, I always notice one thing: they have a shared mission statement. It might not be written down on paper, but everyone knows it. Something like, our family's purpose is to create opportunity for the next generation. We protect what we built so our grandchildren never start from zero. Compare that to families who fall apart. They talk about inheritance, not impact. They focus on who gets what instead of why it matters. Values don't just inspire unity, they provide context. And when there's context, there's less to fight about. Every wealthy family I've ever seen with long-term harmony has one powerful habit. They talk about the plan while everyone's still alive. I know that's uncomfortable for a lot of families, but silence is what causes fights. Here's the formula that works. The family meeting. Once a year, the parents gather everyone, kids, sometimes grandkids, and review the basics. Who's in charge, where the documents are, what the purpose is. Number 2, they open dialogue. The kids can ask questions now while emotions are low, not later in a courtroom when grief is high. Number 3, professional neutrality. Often an advisor or attorney facilitates things objectively. You'd be amazed how much conflict disappears when people feel informed and included. When everyone knows the plan, they don't have to fear it. They trust it. Let's flip the coin. What happens when there isn't a plan? It starts with probate. Months, sometimes years of waiting. Lawyers, judges, fees, filings. Every decision, even paying a bill, needs court approval. Then come the disagreements. Who's the executor? Who gets the family home? Why did one child get more? The legal costs rise, but the emotional costs are even higher. I once had a case where 2 siblings fought over their father's business for 6 years. By the end, the company was gone, the money was gone, and so was their relationship. If the father had set up a clear trust and named a neutral trustee, that entire battle could have been avoided. That's the difference between a plan and a problem. Here's the Rich Family Playbook simplified. Step 1, build structure. Use trusts, LLCs, and governance rules so everything runs like a business, not a battlefield. Step 2, define values. Teach the why so every heir sees themselves as a steward, not a spender. 3, communicate. Hold meetings, explain decisions, end surprises before they start. Number 4, use professionals. Advisors, trustees, and attorneys create neutrality, and that neutrality creates peace. Wealth without a plan divides families. Wealth with structure brings them together. So if you're ever worried about your family fighting after you're gone, don't assume it won't happen. Even good families fall apart without guidance. The difference between peace and probate isn't luck, it's planning. I've seen families lose everything because they waited too long. And I've seen others stay united for generations because they built their plan the right way. If your family had to make decisions tomorrow, would they know exactly what to do, or would they be guessing? If you want to protect your legacy and your relationships, start today. You can download my free estate planning guide using the link in the description. It walks you through the first steps to build clarity, structure, and peace of mind for your family. And if this video helped you see wealth differently, hit subscribe for more What the Rich Do secrets. Because wealth isn't just about money, it's about family, and your family's future deserves a plan.